Happy 5th of July, everybody. It's not often that I really do this, get into this vein, but I have something stuck in my craw, so I'm going to do a political rant. And it's basically revolving around the uproar over the Confederate flag. And I understand that there are some segments of society that want it taken down, that want it abolished, and that it's a sign for them of a troubled and oppressive period, the Civil War and slavery. I understand that. However, I think that we could all use a refresher of a history lesson to really put some things in context, because there was this policy called Reconstruction that was enacted by the Lincoln administration after the Civil War, where it was important for the Confederacy, for the southern states, for the citizens of the United States that lived in the South to be joined and embraced back into the Union. And it was a policy that recognized all of us as Americans after the war, after the trauma, after the heartbreak, after all the death and destruction. And toying with something like old Dixie, saying the Confederate flag has to come down, you're hitting on some heritage, you're hitting on some oppression, you're hitting on the very thing that I think President Lincoln was trying to avoid in the Reconstruction by being harsh toward the old Confederate enemy, because we're brothers, we're citizens of the same country. So those of you that are wringing your hands, those of you that are pointing your fingers, can I suggest that you have taken a few sips off of some Marxism and that your brain has become poisoned? Because what is Marxism after all? What is the modus operandi of Marxism in a government when they take over? It's business and landmarks and religion and a deconstruction of a heritage. That's just the modus operandi. Just do your history lesson, look up countries, look up cultures, look up governments, look up societies that have been subjected to Marxism, and it all comes down. They got to start from scratch. The state becomes God. And so please wake up to the influence of Marxism in your minds, in the media, in your conversations, and you're wringing your hands, and you're pointing at fingers. You're falling into accusation. You're deconstructing the very purpose that President Lincoln enacted for the Reconstruction. Do you really want to go there? Remember what happened to Germany after World War I? President Lincoln was gentle. President Lincoln was very forbearing with the South, knowing that we're citizens, that we're brothers, that we were welcoming these former adversaries back into a union, back into a family. And it was exactly the opposite. You know what the Weimar Republic is in Germany? It was a government that was instituted. It was the outcome of the Treaty of Versailles. Germany was defeated after World War I. They signed the Treaty of Versailles, and there was harsh economic and societal measures that were exacted on the state of Germany, on the country of Germany, that resulted in a reaction that fomented and culminated in the flippin' Nazi Party. Is the United States becoming a Weimar Republic? Have we become so divided? Are we deconstructing the Reconstruction so that we're setting ourselves up for such harsh and exacting measures on our very heritage? This is really stupid. Learn your history. Get a refresher in your history, please, before your wringing of hands and pointing of fingers causes any more damage in this country.